There is only I'm going to say to add to what I said about the background to the problem of the country. And the introductory statement. Well, I'd like to make one point clear from the beginning. Restructuring is not a political philosophy. And people often get it confused about what we mean by it. Restructuring, we are saying, is just the back to restructure the country back to federalism as we had it at independence. Because that is the constitution that the founding fathers of this country agreed to. Now, why are we emphasizing restructuring now? Because the constitution we are using now is a fraudulent constitution. It is not the constitution of the people. And that point must be made clear. You should not confuse it with whatever we are saying. The question you ask us, restructuring, why? Restructuring is not a philosophy. Restructuring is just to say, we want the constitution that everybody agrees to that give peace and unity in the country. And when we talk of federalism, there's a political philosophy behind it. It is not just a philosophy that comes from the air. It is a well-known principle that in a heterogeneous society like Nigeria, the unity form of government that we are operating now will not work, and that will work. So part of the question is, why restructuring now? Restructuring is important now, which is back to federalism, because the constitution we are having now is a fraudulent constitution describing the constitution of the people being federal, which is not. We the people who didn't make it. I'm happy John Wood replied to that it was the constitution of Abdullah. It is not the constitution our founding fathers gave us. It is not the constitution Saudana Sokoto, Nnamdi Azikiwe, and Shifaudo agreed to at independence. They summoned all the representatives of the country to London by Lord Chancellor, the then Secretary of State. Because there was crisis. There was crisis to the fact that the can never work because of the multi-ethnic and multicultural nature of our society. That is the basis of why we must have a federal constitution. And the founding fathers agreed to this. And we are having it all peacefully. All the problems we are having in Nigeria today is because of the fraudulent constitution that we are having. Let us face the fact that all the trouble with this, that, we have had enough of it. There is not anybody to talk about structuring today that even members of this panel have not said that you don't know. It is lack of courage, lack of the will to keep us together. That is what we discuss now. Why do we have restructuring now? Why must we go back to federalism now? Because the constitution we have now is not working. And you go with John Wood has already made clear how that's not been working, how we have been wasting time on the possible. That is why we must go back to federalism. That is why, because it is fraudulent, it is not our own constitution. I like to emphasize that. It is the military that imposed it on us after the coup of 1966. And the question of going back to federalism is not a new one. Even before the 1999 constitution, before the handing over back to civil regime, we have been talking about it, we have been emphasizing it. And that was the basis of the Nadeco at that time. When the British said they are sending us back to civil rule, the progressive then said no. If you are send us back to civilian rule, send us back to the constitution you made us. That is what we had this. That is what we are running before the military came. Because you know that gave us such freedom and autonomy in the federating unit that I don't know how liberty side job in the West. Savannah has Amadu Bello Stadium. We built it Amadu Bello University. Dr. Management agricultural progress. We were making progress under a federal constitution. There was the question of revenue allocation, which is the problem the South is having now under this regime and before. And that has been solved since 1954, before independence. What we call resource control now is derivation. And we agreed then on 50% derivation. By that time, the northern region had 50% too because of their granules. The western region had 50% because of their cocoa. The eastern region had their 50% because of their palm kernel. And we are moving on. Everyone was able to put the federal to do the free education because of the autonomy, the education of police and everything, which we are now agitating for. That is, we want us to go back to that. We want peace and in this society. And those of us who are anxious about the country remaining one, I emphasize it and so let us go back to federalism. Unfortunately, our colleagues who already know, even some of our own members who came into office through the clamor for federalism, through the clamor for restructuring, now deny. But when we talk about restructuring, some of my friends from the north, we say, we want to break the country. Those who fought for it now say they don't understand. Anybody opposed to restructuring, which is going back to federalism, that is not who want to break the country now. Because the emphasis I believe for this seminar, why restructuring now? The country, if we are all now at the war. And not the people that agreed to the military and he killed against the second. And all the affection, all the dictatorial thinking and the is used in the provision of the constitution that makes it autocratic. Under this constitution will be changed now. If the most powerful president in the whole world, that is where we should address ourselves. That is why he is able to put all the important offices in the country in his village. When you talk about you are trying to organize it. Where will you have a unity in the country where the key is one of the constitution? It's not possible. The question of security now that Otto was referring to is because that problem global security under this problem they have no authority. So that is what we must address to now. If they are not going to be a talking shop, and I people were just persuade President Buhari to restructure the country now. Because the way we are going, we're talking of I don't believe in it. And they confuse the issue. They are now telling us where did the presidency go. That is not the question now. The question now is to keep the country forced together. When you have the country together, then you can decide where the people go. Let us make the question of presidency constitutional, not the question of gentleman agreement. And why would you make gentleman agreement over what the powers of right? Being a member of this country, being an equal partner in the federation. It is this constitution that made the Northern did not believe that if they don't support anybody, they can't be president. And the constitution now, all the agitation the Eastern region is doing about separation is because they feel excluded under the constitution. What is the South? Why are they clapping secession? They take that you get all their money from their oil, you take it to the north. If they have been having it on the derivation, we had it before, there have been no trouble. The way that happens for people, why? Because the constitution is not cited. They want to take me to jail, they have to the cleaners. So I only hope the progressive element is enough. We persuade President Gobi to get to now, because we are party now. Because before everything goes to places, let us sit down. Sometimes they tell us, oh, you don't like the cause. If you don't like the grammar of federation, everybody can go his own way. But no, let us go together and imagine the chairman of today. It is best when we're there. Only it's late. Unfortunately, if he has introduced if I set up the commission at the right time, it could have implemented it. But it's not today. The first opportunity we had to rectify it was to Obasanjo. He should have done this constitution and put us in the right path. All the conveniences we have been having, all the clamor, all the feminism and nepotism that we are having would have been avoided, which has given birth to bad blood in the country. So I believe it is not a long talk for why do we have constitution, why do we repeat it. It is why we must have it now to save the country. That is where we are. That is the better to say. And we have combined our energy on persuading President Buhari to do that now for the peace and quiet of the country. Now, the same way I have mentioned, it is now. It must be done before the election. Anybody talking about the election without changing this constitution is just wasting time. It doesn't love this country. And as I said it before today, is the change of the constitution now. And that goes away. They say, how are you going to do it? Simple. If there's a way, there's a way. When President Goodluck was leaving the office, he handed the document of 2014 election to General Buhari. And he told him, this is the most important document I'm giving you. Unfortunately, General Buhari has a private engagement. He said he put it in the archive. That is why we are saying today. 51 years after independence, we are still deciding what kind of government we have. Those who got independent that nation country, they are advancing. We are still discussing we should live together. We are still discussing how we should live together. That is the purpose of this seminar. Not that talking about why it should be or how it has happened. We already know that. Let President Goodluck Jonathan persuade his colleague to tell him that the path he gave in 2014 should be followed. If he believes he doesn't want to follow the 2014 election, let him set up his own committee so that let us agree on the constitution and move on. And if he believes that is too much, you can tell the committee to examine 2014, take away what you don't want there, put in what you want there, and move on for unity in peace.
Thank
To
you
think
so
that
much.
you continue to rule us under this constitution, you are wasting time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And I am also talking about the constitution, what are the evils of the thing? We have passed that, we have had enough of it. The question now is to save the unity of this country by going back to federalism, because that is most suitable constitution for a heterogeneous society like ours. Everything has shown that. Two, the constitution we are having now is a fraudulent constitution. It's not our constitution. Because you ask why is it now? It's not our constitution. It's not everybody testify to that. It is not working. If you are already if you don't know that we are already in a failed state, to save us from being failed, do impress on President Buhari to change the constitution now to a constitution that everybody will agree to. We not a constitution where we discriminate against the sector of the country, not to
Thank you so much, Chief Adebanjo.